Guys, you cannot raw dog this thing. Umjolo, one side. Marriage, another thing. You can't raw dog it, okay? Magnified family, what it do? Also known as Mama Magniii. Welcome back, you guys. Welcome home. Welcome home. If it is your first time here, welcome home, baby. I hope you make it a stay. Please do join the family officially. I know you like it here, okay? We do all things Magnified. Please do subscribe. Don't leave us hanging in the comment section down below. Please do like, please do comment. Engage. And if you're a returning Magnified family member, welcome back, baby. I knew you'd be back again.
Mama Magnified.
So guys, today I just wanted to talk about something that's quite important, but just keep it sort of very straight to the point. A very important, I had a conversation again. I'm a conversationalist. I love engaging with people. And there's another reason why I love engaging with people, because it'll always end up sparking thoughts, sparking ideas, and bringing back something that you never thought could be worth bringing back to the conversation table. And this friend of mine in particular, we were talking about the importance of pre-marital counseling before you get married. If you are married already and you haven't done it, I strongly suggest that you go for it as well. So I just wanted to bring in a few of the lessons of the gems that we were taught. They're very important tools that we were given at premarital counseling that have helped my husband and I in the 8 years we've been together, but maybe the 5 years that we've been married, because we only went when we were only about to be married. So yeah, guys, I hope this helps someone, even someone who's preparing for marriage, because guys, you cannot raw dog this thing. Umjolo, one side. Marriage, another thing. You can't raw dog it, okay? So yeah, let's get into the video. Okay guys, so let's do this. So I have written them down, obviously, because this is not something that you can talk from the top of your head, but I will give you like real life examples for Umpa and I and how we've managed to navigate them, because a lot of these tools, guys, will only come alive once you start using them. And again, I want to emphasize the importance of premarital counseling, because things are very different in marriage. Yes, it's still the same person, but there'll be a lot of things that you will have to navigate that you may not have experienced. Mjolo is great as getting to know the person, but when you get into the covenant of marriage, I think a lot of things drastically change, even your perspective on, your role in this new relationship. Okay, so come with me, guys. Like I said, things that we've learned in premarital counseling, very important lessons that we've applied in our 5 years of marriage. Okay, the first one, being one as a unit. I know this sounds very repetitive. The two are now one, and you guys can go, I'll probably just find scriptures as well just to put in here, but it really is very important, because remember, I think at the end of the day, these are two people who are coming from different backgrounds, different upbringings, different viewpoints, different triggers, different traumas, and coming together to now start what God has said should be one. And the being one is something that you'll hear a lot of throughout. It's going to become sort of a trend, because that is the reality of it. The two people are now creating this one new world. However, you still need to have individualism. Ooh, that word, individualism. But that's more something, I guess it depends on the two people. But the one thing that is stressed is operating as one unit and being a united front. The second one is understanding that you've left your parents' family or your parents' home and you've now started your own thing. And I've noted just here in terms of, boundaries being important and being protected from the outside opinions of, what you used to know as your family. And I'll make an example here. The reason why I wrote it as such a long thing, I wanted to remember the example I wanted to bring across. So when our first son was born, right? Y'all know in the Black culture, okay, there's always a lot of like, oh no, when the umbilical cord drops, this is what we need. Mietlo, like traditions that are always carried out, that to be part of the family. But I think at the end of the day, example for Umpa and I and us coming together, we wanted to do things differently, and we didn't necessarily want to take everything that we know to have been in our families. There were certain things we didn't agree with, and there were certain things we didn't want to continue with. And this is what then becomes the reality of creating this new world for you guys together, where you'll decide, what do you take, what do you leave, what do you tweak, do you even take anything at all from where you come from? That needs to be a very important discussion that you guys have. So with my son, I remember, if I can give you guys one example, where our firstborn son, well, he is the first grandchild on both sides. Well, for first child for me, first child for my husband. So obviously both parents are excited. They want to have their input. They want to say, do it like this, do it like that, don't do it like this, start here and there, all of that, right? So there were certain things, for example, my husband felt were very important in terms of the traditions that they do. But what I loved about him and I is we were always able to, before deciding what we do, we discuss it and hear each other out. Hear if anybody feels like, is it hindering any of our beliefs? Is it hindering our Christianity walk? Or is it something that we are okay with? We don't feel that it's, it's binding us in any way. It's not binding us into covenants we don't want to be involved in. So I love that my husband and I were able to then talk to say, oh, okay, to say that they need to cut his hair when the umbilical cord drops, that's not a big deal. And I must say, for me, obviously I followed what the Mufugengs do, because it's a baby boy who's now a Mufugeng, right? But I didn't drop completely anything or any advice that my mother and my parents gave us, right? But at the end of the day, there were things that, my in-laws would say, no, do this, or, let's say, Ibizani, guys, what do you call libadi in English? Crow's neck or something, that red thing on your back. I know in the black culture there's many different people who do many different things to that. Some people take it medically to say there's nothing there and stuff, right? I'll give an example with that, because that was one of the things where it was just like my mother-in-law would say, okay, this is how we need to handle it. Come, let's take baby wherever, or pour this on the thing, make them drink that. But this is at the time when we are already at our own place. So I was lucky that I didn't really have the pressure of Swete for very long, being at my either parents' home for very long. We were in our own home anyway. And Mpa taught me one thing, my husband taught me one thing as well, to say, we've already decided to do things this way with our children, and we are a new unit now. So you don't have to feel pressure to do what our parents are telling us. And he taught me one trick, and I hope sister doesn't see this or any of my parents see this, but he taught me one trick to say, yes, maybe on the phone they'll say, yeah, did you do that thing? And was like, sometimes just say yes, just to like keep it moving and keep the peace. But this is something we've agreed not to do for our child, and then you just keep it moving. Because I always used to be like, no, the thing is, we're not sure, okay, or I'd crumble and I'd say, let's do it, and my husband would be like, no, that's not how we're going to do things here. We as the parents decide what we do with our children and our family. This is now our family. We are not children in their homes anymore. So that's that point. Okay, so let's move to the next one that says, do not create a gap or distance that will allow the devil to sneak in. And this one talks more about when you start having that drifting apart, right? And it can be drifting apart in small things, it can be drifting apart in big things, but it all goes back also to communication and being in touch with where you and your partner are at. That's why you then, and I know the big thing, communication, but I don't think we also get taught enough of how to communicate effectively. I think that word is just thrown out there and left for everyone to figure out, and then people think they're communicating effectively, and then when the bus crashes, they realize I actually wasn't communicating effectively this whole time because I thought the other person knows. But this one, I know my pastor at that time made a very good example that kind of threw me off, but I got the gist of it. So he said, let's say you guys are at a braai, right? Sitting around with friends and you guys are conversing, and spouse, let's say Umpa has an opinion on something, and then I have maybe a different opinion about it. He was making an example that although we may have different opinions, in front of people, we should show one united front in that stance. And then maybe, or let's say he's wrong in something. Let's make an example that I will make sure that I don't quite agree with what he's saying, or it's not the one, you know. And he made an example that don't correct him in front of people, because that ends up giving off, firstly, belittling him. You are tarnishing his image, and you, more importantly, you're showing that you guys are not a united front. You're suddenly showing a picture where you guys are the separate thing, right? And then he says maybe when you guys then drive home, or when you're together, you're like, "Ay, mara baby, mara lwena mole upetile, wait." Just think of it this way, like that, like that, like that. I think that example was a more light one, because I then challenged it, not challenged it, but it was like, our family pastor is someone we grew up with, so it's someone you're able to converse, which I highly encourage you guys to have a conversation during these sessions. It shouldn't just be you sitting, they tell you and you go, because these are tools you're gonna have to go and apply back home. So I asked him, I'm like, okay, so does that mean I must dumb myself down? You know, should I then not have an opinion because we are in front of people? Should I always go by what he says, or should he always go by what I say, so that we look like a united front? Shouldn't there be, you know, I'm my own person, I could have opinions? And obviously he then said, no, but he was giving me the bigger picture of, you know, any example where you now are giving the devil some room or leeway to now sneak in because you guys are drifting apart. It doesn't have to be in opinions, it could even be in beliefs, it could even be drifting apart in something that you guys had agreed on. It could be in parenting, which I'm gonna get to. So the point is, don't allow there to be this that happens, because that's when the devil and the enemy, and sometimes even the devil, the enemy, or the opposer could even be people around you who come and interject. They could be used by the devil to start meddling with this covenant that is so beautiful. Okay, the next one, which is number 4, I touched on it. Communicate effectively. Mainly, stay transparent about finances. This one, I must say, we're still navigating quite, you know, taking our time, because I think it also depends in different seasons of your life what finances will look like. But I think the transparency didn't come immediately after we got married. I think it came probably towards the end of the first year. But I love that we gave each other time to get to the point where we were comfortable to do that, and in a way that was not confrontational or very like tense. I skip on my pay sleep, you know. I love Umpe and I. We are friends, guys. Umpe and I are friends. Like, we're friends, you know. We're not the typical, well, he is, I think he's the more romantic one, but we're not like the airy-fairy romantic. We are friends, like we're best friends, you know. So I think maybe that's why a lot of things are not like, I really like, yeah, we are sitting at the table discussing marital issues. No, he's my friend. We're chilling on the couch, we're talking. If we don't see eye to eye, we park it. We come back another day when we're more relaxed, you know. And then that's another thing with communication that I can add. It's coming to my mind right now. You have to learn to firstly know your partner, know his temperament, you know. If he's upset, and when he's upset he wants to take a walk and not address that thing, that's fine, and that's important. Now that person, okay, let's not go to bed mad, let's talk about it now. But he's not like that. So depending on who's upset at that time, I could get very frustrated if he doesn't want to address something because he wants to go woosa. And that woosa is for him a good way of saying, let me go gather my thoughts, let me come back when I'm of sound mind, which is good, because we need to learn to control our emotions as people and not end up lashing out and, you know, so for me, I'm like, okay, can we talk, finish, park it, and then we're done. He's not like that. So know your person, know their temperaments, know what works for them. And then secondly, also, I think women, I think here, this one is for us ladies. Timing, guys. Timing is everything. I mean, again, laptop, or you must suss him out for how is his mood. Also, is that really the ideal time to address things? No. You know, find a time that where you guys are more relaxed, you know, he doesn't see it coming. And even your tact when you bring it up, don't be, yeah, mula, that show me. That's not gonna work. Okay, I'll leave it there because I don't want to labor the point with each point. Number 5, which probably should have been number 1, but these are not in any particular order. Number 5, have a spiritual authority you are both accountable to. Pray and fellowship together and be planted in a local church. The last part is very clear. The pray and fellowship together, be planted in a local church. I have a spiritual authority that you're accountable to. Guys, I actually never got this. I never understood this. And this is not really one that we were taught back in our pre-marital counseling. It's one that I've learned from our apostle, my spiritual father at House of Treasures. As we've been in teachings with him in sermons, and I picked this up as he's teaching and preaching, that he always gives examples of his marriage, right? And I love that, because it doesn't end at premarital counseling, guys. You will attend sermons, you will read the word of God, you will attend workshops or whatever that will keep you going and keep empowering you in how to make things better in your marriage, because this is work. It's not gonna work itself. You need to work the work. Apostle Felix always says that the importance of having a spiritual authority or an elder or a mentor that you guys both trust and are accountable to helps, because he always says, or imagine like with Mpo and I, or with him and his my spiritual mother. Yes, he's a pastor, he's an apostle, but if he doesn't have anyone he's accountable to, out, he always says, my wife or our spiritual mother can easily go to his spiritual father, which is, we call him our spiritual grandfather, right? He says his wife, which is our spiritual mother, can go to their spiritual parents anytime and say, yo, Yabona, your son actually like this, like that, we're not seeing eye to eye, please talk to him. Which has actually happened. He told us a real life example a month or two after they had gotten married. I don't know what they were not seeing eye to eye with, and our spiritual mother went to their spiritual parents to say, yo, talk to your son. And then they were able to then reconcile them. And Apostle always says, if you guys don't have anybody that you are accountable to, you have a chance to doing your own thing, and that's not good in anything really. You always need someone that you are accountable to, so that you can bring yourself back towards yourself. Okay, and then number 6, let's go to number 6. Number 6 says, this is a parenting one, right? When it comes to your children, always stay as a united front, or as aligned. There's that united again. Don't show them your different minds. Okay, give perspective. Okay, so this one, let me give an example, right? It's better explained. So in front of your children, guys, you don't want to you always want to make sure that your children understand that you guys are a unit. You never want to put yourself in a position where you guys are of different mindsets or opinions, and now they see this separate thing, right? What our pastor always taught us in that case is that, let's say a child is asking for something or wants to do something, and this has helped me so much. When my son comes, okay, mommy, can I please do a new extramural or whatever? Let's do the extramural situation. Okay, Nana, no problem. I'll need to go speak to your dad and I'll come back to you and let you know. What that shows them is also that children do tend to be manipulative as human beings generally, or children do tend to see and read the room. Okay, this is the weaker parent, or this is the yes parent, this is the disciplinarian. So if I want this, I know I must go to this one. Now this one says yes, you haven't spoken to the other spouse. By the time you guys talk, or it's a no, or it's a maybe, or it's a definitely not. Now you need to go back to the child. Now you guys look like idiots. You guys don't look like the authorities. You guys don't look like the leaders to your children, because it means likopa kopani. So always learn to go back, connect with the other parent, then go back to your child, and eventually they'll end up learning. They end up knowing. My boys as well, they know for sure, mommy, I'm gonna ask, but I already know what you and daddy are gonna say, because he's asking me for something that he probably has already asked his dad, and he's gotten an answer for his dad, but now he's coming to me, the softer parent, but he already knows that they're aligned always, So from a parenting perspective, this one was very important, because particularly as moms, for me, we are like the emotional nurturer ones, and but baby move, and my husband is the disciplinarian, which is also another thing that they taught us, that there needs to be balance. Just because my husband is a disciplinarian, and I'm the nurturer, emotional. No, I also need to dial up a bit of the disciplinarian, because the scale becomes so imbalanced when my husband's the only one doing the disciplining, and then I'm always doing the it needs to come from both parents. It may not be with the same intensity, but I need to come to the party with the disciplining as well, because I may as well just be messing everything up if I'm not doing the disciplining and it's one-sided. And kids will then always end up knowing, okay, they won't listen to anything I say, but the minute the dad says something, it's go. That's not good. I know I've experienced that. It's still something that we're working on as well. Number 7. Serve your spouse daily. And I've put there, how can I make life better for him or her, depending who's watching this. And serve is not, guys, it's not serve like marriage is serving. Marriage is serving the other person. Marriage is what can I give? It's not what can I get. And that's why it always is important to make sure that you have prayed for this person and it's someone God chose for you, so that you are able to then have the same mindset around the true purpose of marriage. It is serving. It is how can I make life better for him? It is what can I do to make life better for you? How can I help you? And if he's also saying how can I help her, then that mindset shift is one of the biggest changes from umjolo. Because for me, coming from umjolo, single independent woman, yes, we're dating, but I'm still sort of doing my thing. I still can have attitude about certain things. There's a lot of accountability in marriage, guys. There's a lot of improvising in marriage. There's a lot of compromise in marriage. There's a lot of mindset shift that if you don't get that right and start working on that I believe that's when a lot of marriages fail and ends up in the inevitable. Yes, there's many reasons why people divorce. That's not the reason for this, but I'm just saying a lot of the times it is because of the mindset or the approach in which we are going into marriage. Not thoroughly prepared, not having had conversations. Sometimes you get into the marriage and then only you realize, oh my word, what is this? The last one is my favorite one. My favorite one. Number 8. Be kind. Be kind. Be kind. Be kind. I cannot stress this enough. Be kind. And the reason why I'm repeating it, guys, we think be kind is please and thank you. Be kind is even in conflict. Watch your words. Be kind even in conflict. Be kind even the day I'll bore. Be kind. Be kind even when I'm not his favorite person. Be kind. Be kind in the choice of words. Be kind in your approach. Be kind even when you're not agreeing and seeing eye to eye. Be kind. Be kind. This one is my flex, in the sense that it's always top of mind. It's always top of mind. It's always here. Is this kind? What I'm about to say, is it kind? The words that I'm going to use, is it kind? Sometimes being kind is just turning a blind eye, and I know it sounds like, you're being a doormat in marriage. Do you not? Some things is this worth it? No. Just leave it. Be kind is, if this is going to crush his spirit, or if this is going to make him feel small or less than a person, I'm not going to do it. Or I'm going to do it in a way where, maybe in a corrective way, but let me not do it in a way that will make him feel less of a person, that will kill his self-esteem. That's not kind. So yeah, that will be the last one, and I will leave it there. Thank you so much, guys. I really hope this helps someone. And if you are planning to get married, or you're in a serious relationship and the plan is to get married, don't wait to get married. Actually, maybe go even, so that you get a feel of it and you can start putting things into place. I highly advise any couple that's about to get married, a man and a woman, to really, 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 really find pastors that you trust. Get into that premarital counseling, ask questions, and those who are married, and there isn't, I know of couples who go back again. It's not a once-off. Like I said, for some of us who are committed to a local church and have spiritual parents, it is an ongoing thing during sermons, during teachings. We also even have marriage seminars at church. So it's an ongoing work, guys. You need to work the work. The marriage is not going to work itself. And more importantly, remain one. Hear from God what he wants to do with your marriage as a ministry, because after God comes your spouse. can you see the hierarchy and the ranking of how important marriage is to God? You know, so yeah, thank you so much, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful. I really cannot wait to see and hear from you guys soon. Love you, bye.